Hello Bellezas, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Brenda. I do mostly paranormal videos here on my channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below. Also turn on your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Alright guys, before I start with the storytelling, I do want to apologize if you guys hear any background noise. My washer and my dryer are running right now and doing some laundry, so hope that the camera doesn't catch the background noise too much, but I could hear it from here. It's just like whirring. Machine just going crazy, but anyways, hopefully that's not too much of a distraction. But yeah, as you guys can tell by the title, I will be reading some more paranormal stories today that you guys submitted to me. It's been a minute since I have gone through some, so I have quite a few emails in my inbox, so we're gonna go through quite a few of them, as many as I can get through without, you know, exhausting myself, because I do get tired of talking and I have to like continuously take water breaks. My mouth gets dry so quickly. That's good. But yeah, I'm very orange. I'm feeling the spooky Halloween vibes finally. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna pull up my email real quick because I'm never prepared. Alright, story number 1. This one is titled, "My Whole Neighborhood Was Haunted." It says, "Hi, my name is Fatima. I used to live in a haunted neighborhood where every house was haunted. I learned the history of the neighborhood before they were built, which pretty much explains all the activity that was going on there. Back then, there was pure train tracks before my city, Santa Ana, was built. I guess one of the trains had crashed really badly and all of the passengers died on the spot. When I was 8, they told me if I stayed up at 3 a.m., you could hear the train horn. I used to sleep in the living room upstairs, and there was a window where you can see and hear everything. So me, being a little curious pendeja, I stayed up till 3 and I heard the train horn so clear that I couldn't even go to sleep because I was terrified. My brother knew this story because in the front there was an apartment where his friends were living in. One day, I guess someone tripped and fell on the door, which caused the doorknob to make a hole in the wall. They were all checking it out and they found a really old newspaper that had a family in the front showing how and where they died. I guess they had died in that apartment, and ever since that day, they started to experience paranormal things. My brother told me that one day they were hanging out in his friend's garage and my brother wanted something to drink, so he went to the kitchen to get something, and when he was on his way back, he passed by the stairs, which were next to the garage door, and there he saw a little boy on the top of the stairs, looking down on him. He was confused and told his friend if his little brother or if anyone was here, and his friend said no, which freaked my brother out. So he told them what he saw, and they both left outside. I honestly believe that house was the scariest out of all of them, considering its history. I have a couple of more stories if you want to hear." That is so scary, girl. Move out. Bye! Pack my bags. I'm just kidding. That's so creepy. But you said you used to live there, so that's good. You don't have to deal with that anymore. That was really creepy. I would love to hear more, especially of the background of each house. Maybe there's more to it than just the railroad tracks, so you never know. That's pretty spooky. Alright, thank you Fatima for sending that story in. Now let's move on to the second one. Alright, this next one is a little bit lengthy, so make sure that you're all cozied up, that you got something to munch on, because I know I love a snack while I listen to scary, spooky stuff. Sorry, I don't mean to keep touching my hair. I'm sorry, I know people hate that. Alright, this one doesn't say whether or not I could say their name, but this one is submitted to me by Janel. She says, "Hi sweets, I'm so glad you're taking submissions for scary stories. So here we go. Buckle in. I've seen the other side all my life, sometimes more than others. I'd like to share just a few of the many encounters I've had with what we know as a spiritual realm. Just a precursor, yes, I do dabble in the occult. But the stories I'm about to tell you happened way before I attempted those practices. The story of Nini. I lived with my ex-husband's family in a townhouse that had a lot of violent history to it. Very often, during the middle of the day, we would hear loud footsteps on the stairs and we would feel a presence behind us and see no one. My then niece lived here because her dad was a truck driver on the road all the time, so she'd stay with grandma and grandpa and uncle, my ex. For some reason, they would have her sleep in a fold-out bed on the stairway right outside their bedroom, probably because they had no space in their room. Well, when things would go missing around the house or something odd would occur that had no explanation, my ex-niece would get blamed. She would cry out, "It was Nini!" We would think she was so cute and just go about the day. She would be so frustrated, so back to the bed on the stairs. One night, she was sleeping there, and apparently she woke up in the middle of the night to the sight of a red devil. She told me that it told her that it was after me and wanted to hurt me. I couldn't believe it. I asked her if she was mad at me, and she insisted that that wasn't the case, and that this was true. So months later, they decide to move to another townhome in the same complex, and they're cleaning off the fridge when the grandma finds a prayer card on top of the fridge. It was in Spanish, which she didn't understand, so I read it, and it was a regular prayer, and it was signed, "Love, Nini." Nini was Nini. She was real. We later found out that there was a murder/suicide in that townhome, but we really had to drag it out of the manager at the complex. What was the deal with the red devil? We may never know, but that was only one of the many encounters in that townhome. That's so creepy. No, girl. I always gotta do this. Okay, next one. Titled The Screaming Girl. In the same townhome, in the middle of the day, my ex and I were napping after school, and we were awoken by a scream louder than you can imagine, by a little girl. I heard it coming from downstairs outside the townhouse, but my ex heard it from the right side of the bed. Imagine waking up to that, and of course, no one in sight. That's terrifying, girl, no. Alright, here's the next one she has, titled The Angry Spirit. I began to notice that whenever my ex was angry, which was often, that the activity would pick up in the townhome. We were huge fans of Ghost Hunters when it first came out, so we acknowledged this connection but never really did anything with it in the heat of the moment. One time we were arguing and he left to go drive around. He had a pic of him and his ex that his mother kept, and she said she kept it because it was a custom handmade frame she enjoyed. It always made me upset that they kept it, yet called his ex a stalker. So yeah, when he left, I went into his closet where they kept all the storage, and I was about to grab it and throw it away when I felt someone behind me and even heard the floorboards crack behind me. Whoever it was heavy. I felt heat rising behind me and the sound of heat rising in my ears. I knew that I had to get the hell out of there, but I was being blocked. I put the picture down and mustered up all the ganas I could and ran out of the room. As I was running down the stairs, the upstairs bathroom door shut. The downstairs bathroom door opened and nearly knocked me over. And the dishwasher's door fell open, rattling and shaking all the dishes. I also heard footsteps following me down the stairs. I saw the front door was unlocked, so I took off. When I closed the front door, I could almost feel like there was someone pacing behind me, like they were trapped in there and just begging to torture us. I told my ex about it, and he just kind of smirked because he knew he had a connection with it somehow, like feeding off of each other. What the fuck? That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. And one thing I learned from studying the occult, if you approach with fear, they'll eat it up. If you approach with confidence, a lot of times they will back down. Hope this helps if you decide to share with anyone. Have a great one, Janel. That is so creepy. First of all, your ex, good thing he is your ex, because what the hell? Like, imagine telling somebody of all of this happening to you and they're just like, damn, that's crazy. Like, they're kind of happy about it, especially because they're connected to it. Like, what the fuck? You gotta be messed up in the head. That is so scary. But honestly, that is very true. Anytime that I feel like there's something trying to scare me, like for example, the fear that I was getting from my workplace. Like I was getting like an eerie vibe. As soon as I started ignoring it, and as soon as I was just like, it's all in my head, like it's not a big deal, I'm just like hearing just a building basically making noises, I kind of just, that fear went away. So very good advice. I truly believe in that as well. But okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next submission. Alright, this one says, "Hey Brenda, before I start, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jasmin. You don't have to keep me anonymous, and I really love your videos. The energy you radiate is so wholesome and kind. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, let's get started." Thank you so much, girl. That is so sweet of you. Alright, let's get started. My family and I had moved to a house from our old apartment where I had my first paranormal experiences at only 4 years old. I feel like something has always followed me ever since I left that apartment. I would constantly see shadows and felt like I was being watched. The whole vibe of the apartment was off. When we moved to our new house, I was lucky enough to make a friend since she lived next door. One day, she was over at my house and we were playing with Barbies in the living room. My back was towards the kitchen and I kept feeling like something was watching me from the kitchen. I decided to tell my friend that we should both look behind me towards the kitchen at the exact same time to see if there was anything there. We counted to 3 and spun around, not expecting to see anything. Well, we definitely saw something. I thought I saw a woman with black hair dressed in all white standing at the sink and then run towards the back door. I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, so I asked my friend if she had seen anything. She said she saw a lady in a white dress with black hair running around in the kitchen. We were so scared and ran outside with our Barbies. We stayed outside until my mom came home from work. Fast forward around 3 years later, my neighbor and I were still friends and I was over at her house. We decided to ask her grandpa for any scary stories. He said that 20 years ago, in the exact same house, he felt someone tap his shoulder while he was asleep. He woke up and assumed it was his wife. But when he looked next to him on the bed, his wife was fast asleep. He looked back towards where he had been tapped and said that he saw a lady with a white pajama gown, dress thing, walking towards the bathroom. When he told us that story, I got chills and remembered the time my neighbor and I saw a woman in a white dress in my kitchen. Remember, our houses are right next to each other, so what if it was her in my house? Ever since that experience of seeing that lady in my house, I hear footsteps in the hallway outside my room. My door opens randomly out of nowhere and I see shadow people. What are your thoughts? I have more stories that I would gladly share, but I feel like this one is a little long. Thank you for your time, and again, I absolutely love you and your videos. Keep doing what you're doing, bestie. Much love, Jasmin. Thank you so much, girl. You are the sweetest, and that is a super scary story. Honestly, could be the same bitch roaming around both of y'all's houses, but she gotta stop playing. I'm guessing you still live there since you say that you still hear footsteps outside of your room. Honestly, when I hear this, I'm just like, how do y'all do it? Like, how do you just live with that, you know? I guess if you project enough light in your life, and it's like mostly positive and you're not trying to invite this fear in, I guess you could possibly live with other entities, you know, in the world. And I mean, who's to say that not every single place is haunted somehow? Like there's some kind of lingering energy from somebody who has passed or from another person that lived there before. But yeah, that's super creepy, and that's basically what I think. It's like, it's most likely the same spirit kind of taunting the both of the areas. Maybe she had ties to both houses, you know, who knows. But great story. Thank you so much for submitting that in. Alright, this next person by the name of Jessica, she went above and beyond, sent me an entire Word document. She like typed it all out nice for me. Thank you so much, Jessica. You are the best for that. I'm gonna take a sip of water for this one because it is a lengthy one. So again, hope you're comfortable. throat is so dry today. I don't know why. Maybe it's the temperature drop. Alright, it says, good afternoon, Beyond Belleza. Girl, call me Brenda. That is my stage name. No, Beyond Belleza is my stage name. Anyway, alright, sorry, I'm messing around too much. My name is Jessica Ramon. I was a big fan of your channel. I would like to share some paranormal stories that I have experienced. Girl, what? Just kidding. Okay. Story number 1. The devil. Oh, shit, girl. Stop playing. This story took place in Mexico in a small town in Puebla. I was raised by my grandparents. Every day my task was to put the chickens away in the barn. In the living room there is an offering table with Catholic saints, candles, and flower vases. So one afternoon my grandmother told me, Jessica, go check who is playing in the living room. I heard something break. If you see your cousins, kick them out. Of course, I ran inside the house, but no one was there. I saw one flower vase shattered on the floor. My grandmother said, maybe God is mad. We need to pray. Go tell your Tío Juan. That's what I did. I told my Tío Juan about it. My Tío Juan said, we're all gathering for prayer session at 9 p.m. Exactly at 9 p.m., my aunts, uncles, and cousins were in the living room at 9 p.m. Everybody started praying and they were focused, except my Aunt Letty. My sister Vero and I were not paying attention to the prayer. The three of us saw the living room door open slowly by itself. Yet, as soon as I turned my head around, because I wanted to see who it was, the door slammed shut. Only the three of us heard it, no one else. Consequently, all the chickens were dead the next morning. My grandmother was upset and she blamed the three of us about it. My Tío Juan said, quote, this happened because when you pray and look for God, the devil tries to distract you from praying, end quote. Story number 2. Oh, hold on. Girl, what? Like, how? Why did that just happen, like, randomly out of nowhere? Like, that is so creepy, and, oh god, I cannot. Alright, number 2, the shadow of a man. The room is facing the street. The room where I slept had 2 beds. One bed close to the window, and the second bed was close to the wall. I shared the bed close to the wall with my tia Ophelia. I was young. I forgot how old I was. It was in the middle of the night. I woke up because I heard a man screaming outside by my window. Since the streetlight was on, I was able to see the shadow of a man. The man was wearing a hat, and I saw 4 dogs barking at him, 2 on his left and 2 on his right side. However, the dogs were not biting him, which is weird. The man yelled, "Ayúdenme, los perros me están mordiendo," or "Help me, the dogs are biting me." I was so scared that I covered myself with the blanket and fell asleep. The next morning, I asked my grandparents and aunts if they had heard the man screaming outside, but they did not hear anything. I was the only one who heard it. My grandfather said that whatever was outside wanted to take me away. I still get chills when I think about it. Girl, I don't like that at all. I got chills too. That is so creepy. Imagine if you gave it your attention and went out there like, oh no, Dios guarde, because that's so fucking scary. Okay. Story number 3, sensing a spirit. I was living in California with my parents in 2004. I went to Mexico to celebrate my high school graduation. I went for 2 weeks and I stayed in the same room when I was younger. As soon as I walked inside the room to go to sleep, it was Mission Impossible. I felt like someone was watching me. It felt like a big eye staring at me from the ceiling. I could not sleep. I grabbed the holy saints from the dresser and put them next to me. At that moment, I felt like the holy saints did not protect me, like the saints did not have power. I wanted to get up and leave my grandparents' house. I know something or a spirit, whatever it was, did not want me there. After that experience, I have not traveled to Mexico to visit my grandparents. Girl, that house definitely needs a blessing, a cleansing, all of the things, because there's something wicked in there, and that's freaking scary. I would have not gone back there either, girl. You would have to pay me. Alright, and story number 4. Dog ghost / military short story. I was stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas. My contract with the military was completed. After I came back from deployment in 2008, I had to clear the barracks and turn in my room. So I stayed at my friend's apartment while I cleared the base. The first night that I stayed in my friend's apartment, I woke up in the middle of the night because I heard a dog barking loudly. I told my friend Jose that the dog did not let me sleep. Jose said, "Dogs are not allowed in this apartment complex." The next day, I heard the dog barking outside again. I told Jose, but he said, "Maybe you were dreaming about it because I did not hear a dog bark." My friend Jose did not believe me. That was a scary experience for me. Girl, what is going on? These are so scary. I'm getting scared. I guess that's the point, right? That's why we're here. I'm scared. Alright, story number 5. Oh, she got a lot. Followed by ghost dog / short story. After I left Kansas, I came back to California. My first day back home, it happened again. I was sleeping in my room and I heard a dog bark by my window. I woke up right away. I heard the dog running back and forth. I was so scared. I closed my eyes and tried to go back to sleep. However, this was the last time I heard the dog. I do not know if it was a demon or a spirit following me from Kansas to California. I still wonder why this happened to me. That is so creepy. That reminds me of those, I forget what those specific dogs are called, where they're like demon dogs of some sort, and they go, like, follow people and they try to, like, take them, basically. And there's, like, certain things that they can't go past, like, they can't, I don't know, I have to look it up and I'll write it down here because I don't remember what they're called, but that's so scary. Alright, and then story number 6. Virgen de Juquila. Juquila? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that because I'm not familiar with this one, but I'll put the name down here. You are not alone. I was going through a difficult time in my life. I was pregnant with my first child. My ex-boyfriend and I were supposed to move in together. Unfortunately, that did not happen. On Facebook, I found out he was officially dating someone else. What the fuck? I was devastated and heartbroken. I was faithful and pregnant with his child. I started crying. I had an altar in my room with the holy saints, Virgen de Juquila, Sagrado Corazón de Jesús, and Virgen de Guadalupe. I knelt in front of the altar and I was praying and I was crying. I said, quote, "I don't deserve this. I was good to him. I was faithful to him. Why?" Then the lights in my room started flickering, like the lights were about to blow up. My television started to make a static sound as if it was losing connection. For a moment, I thought I was crying so much that my tears fell inside of the frame of La Virgen de Juquila. Then I looked at the frame carefully and I realized Corazón de Jesús and Virgen de Guadalupe imprinted themselves inside of the small frame of Virgen de Juquila. A chandelier of light appeared on top of the Virgen, and that day I had a miscarriage. I went to the emergency room. I lost my baby. From that moment on, I believe that God and the saints are with me. I am not alone. I take holy saints with me wherever I move houses. God is protecting me. I am attaching the actual frame too. Thanks so much. I hope you like my stories. Girl, oh my god, those are so wild. And I will obviously put the picture that you sent me in because it is in there. And that is so crazy. I obviously, yes, I believe, I'm religious too, and I believe that that was just how it was supposed to happen. You know, as sad as it was to lose your baby, maybe that's just the path that you were supposed to go on. Like, you weren't supposed to do this alone and then have the baby of like such a shitty person like that. But you know, everything else was super scary, super terrifying. Like I literally got chills like down my spine, and I was just like, all of this just gives me bad vibes, you know, it gives me like bad juju vibes. So I'm just like, girl, I don't even know how I would deal with all of that. That was super spooky. Thank you so much for submitting those stories. I really did enjoy them. That is crazy. You have had so many insane experiences that if I were to ever like experience with any of that, I would just be like, I would go crazy, honestly. As much as it intrigues me, I'm just like, if I were to ever actually experience it like in real time now, I wouldn't know what to do, honestly, girl. Like I get scared of everything. Even when there's an explanation for it, I'm always just like, what was that? And like I cannot do it. So props to you for, you know, handling all of those experiences the way that you did, and you kind of just like brush it off and keep it going, because all of those were crazy. But yeah, those were a lot of stories, so I'm going to end it there. Hopefully that you guys enjoyed all of those stories, and thank you to all of you who submitted them, because without you I wouldn't be doing this video, obviously. Alright, so before we do end the video, today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. As always, I really do appreciate it, and it really makes my day. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a nice comment down below, and that's it. And with all of that being said, you guys, hopefully I will see you in my next one. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.